God.
I don't think!
No one wanted Sogden not to go through more than me.
But I think what we can safely say this morning is that there are two sides to this transfer window. There is the immediate deals that we can do, and there are the bigger picture deals that we can do. And a lot of the bigger picture deals won't happen in January. Now, it's where you put the players. You know, if you're talking about a swap deal with Sancho, that is a January deal, and it's probably going to involve Malin, which we'll talk about in a minute. Werner would be a January deal. If you're talking about Todibo, he sort of sits in between, maybe summer, maybe January, probably more summer. And then there are the summer deals, the longer term deals, like the Edisons and the Elises, which are really exciting, which you can't be negative about because you want it to happen in January. When you've got a new football ownership side coming in, they need time to assess, and they've got every right to say, well, we've got money in the summer, we're going to spend it there. It's different to what's happened in the past. So I think what we're getting here, quite rightly, is we are going to be reacting to stories about players that probably won't happen in January, but probably will happen in the summer. And we're going to get stories about the January stuff as well. So I think you've just got to have a mindset of, of that really. And a lot of people getting very excited about the Elise story. So obviously he's in really good form for Crystal Palace at the moment. Scored a couple of goals at the weekend. I think he scored in the game before that. And Standard News in London are saying that Manchester United are very heavily scouting him and interested in him. He has got a contract till 2027. He would cost a significant amount of money, but there would also be interest from other clubs. But he's a very interesting profile of player. There are pros and cons around doing a deal like that. The cons would be, we've got to look into the mentality side of the player, the consistency, the character. We have to look at those things now, whether people like it or not. I think we almost live in a woke football world now. If someone misses a sitter, you're a bully if you say they're shit. So, but we've got to scrutinise the personality of the players now. We have to. We've bought so many players that aren't, the right mentality. You've got to look at Elise and look at that for the price. You can't do another Jadon Sancho is what I'm saying. You can't do another Alexis Sanchez. You can't get this wrong by spending a lot of money. But he's a very interesting profile of player. The cons as well are, well, we've still got Ahmad, Pellistri, Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, Sancho. We've still got a lot of wingers that we need to resolve before we even look at buying another winger. So there's pros and cons about that, but we'll talk about that in a moment. I think the Edison signing is really interesting as well. The Edison link's very interesting. Midfielder for Atalanta. Seen little bits of him, but spoke to somebody last night about this who's an Atalanta fan who helped us out with Ahmad and helped us out with Rasmus. You can probably guess who it is. And they gave us quite a good brief on what Edison's all about. And I quite like what I've heard. Mark, the info we get from Erik Ten Hag, Ineos talks will be telling about the culture shift of the club. If we get more spin and leaks, then how can we be optimistic about the future they want to build? I think that's a great point, Patrick. Thank you very much for your super chat. And also, Tom has been a member for 20 months. Get the badge in. Thank you very much, Tom. He says, although we wanted Qatar, do you think we can do well with Sir Jim? I think, Tom, honestly, I think it's mission impossible. But it's mission, let's wait and see. Definitely think about that. Also, let's fly into good morning. What's your opinion on Elise? Says Sahil. I'll talk about that in a minute. Very, very good point. Let's just fly into the news. There's quite a lot to get into. There was also breaking news coming out from a French outlet that it's going to be a cold January transfer window for Manchester United. Obviously, French outlets would have links to Nice, you would expect, being Nice in France, and that's where Sir Jim and Ineos are based. They're basically saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will not sanction any transfer business in January as he embarks on a major review of Manchester United. I would file this under a half-truth. I think it's only a bit of a breaking news, so maybe something else will come out later on today. But I actually read that and I'm not panicked by that. A hard winter for Manchester United as Sir Jim Ratcliffe takes control. Well, we already know this. We already know there's going to be a huge amount of scrutiny at Manchester United. We already know that we haven't got the director of football in yet anyway, so spending money is a bit stupid. But what we can see is exits. What we can see is short-term loan deals. We will see activity in the January transfer window, but we're not probably going to go and buy Elise or someone like that until the summer. And I can deal with that. I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is what we've had every year for the last few years, where John Murtagh comes out and says, we don't like to do business in January, it's a bad market to do it. And then you go, well, hello, some of the best business that's ever been done in the transfer market has been done in January. Look at Van Dijk, look at Vidic, look at Bruno, look at Luis Diaz, look at Matic to Chelsea. You can do good business in a January transfer window. And if you're going to ignore it, there needs to be a very good reason to do that. But Red Devil's advocate, spot on. This is about laying the foundations. But look, let's bring a bit of formula to the show this morning, because there is a lot to delve into. I'm very excited to talk to you about this Edison interest as well. But let's start off with the Jadon Sancho update. A lot of people talking about this morning. Obviously, we spoke about it last night. I did a video on it last night, and a lot of people are doing it today. So, you know, I don't want to repeat what people are saying this morning when we said it last night. But Sancho is going to go to Dortmund. We broke it on our Twitter account on Friday that the agency of Jadon Sancho was at Carrington last week. That's not normal behaviour to be at Carrington. You know, if you're there, it's contract renewal, it's exits, it's players that they've got. So, Carmine, welcome to the channel. Not seen you for a while. Happy New Year, and has just gifted 10 memberships. So massive win there from Carmine. Thank you very much. Get your badge in. We basically have the agents of Sancho in Manchester last week, and now we've got this Dortmund deal happening. Sancho's happy to do it. Obviously, it's familiar to him to be at Dortmund. Man United, I think, just want to move him away. He's still turning up to Carrington, doing pictures with fans and messages and birthday messages and all sorts. So I think United just want him out. He obviously, thankfully, wants out as well. The worst case scenario would have been if he'd said, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just going to sit here earning my wage. At least he's got that about him, that he wants to play football. And that deal is very concrete, and it, you know, should be done by the end of this week, which would be a good start to the January transfer window to remove a problem in Jadon Sancho. The flip side of the coin is swap deal. There's a viable swap deal here for Malen, who Dortmund are looking to move on. This is very, very, very possible for United. Bit of breaking news on this. The situation with Malen is that Dortmund would be interested in some sort of deal, without a shadow of a doubt. Whether United could negotiate a straight loan deal with a loan to buy until the summer is probable. Malen would be interested in coming to Manchester United. Obviously, he would. It's the Premier League. It's Manchester United. Ten Hag is very interested because it's a Dutch player. Not just because he's Dutch. I mean, there's some crap Dutch players, as we know. But he likes the profile of Malen and feels that he would suit his, situation, training, personality, everything like that. The barrier is apparently the money involved, and also Ineos. Ineos are not 100% sure about Malen, and also Dortmund would like to sell him for 25 million, which Manchester United don't have. So there's still a little bit of work to be done here.